We're organising, family. I speak with every single one of my peers in this social entrepreneurial space, from Manhood Academy through to the West Side Academy. You've got all of the supplementary schools, genius people like Kay Johnston of the Diamond Enterprise School. So in terms of our education, we have so many that are providing this, that include the component of the rites of passage, which is actually what our children need. This is what has been lacking. This is why they have no citizenship. So not only are we ready to engage, but we have the proficient professionals within the education system that are there. People like Juliet Coley at Gladesmore, that you saw organise the song for charity just after Christmas. These are amazing and exceptional people that if you speak to their students, and I've had the privilege, especially in terms of Juliet, to meet students that she had 15 years ago or 10 years ago that have told me stories that she wouldn't even be privy to, young men, about how she supported them. What you're seeing there is empathy for our children, and this is what is lacking in the current educational system, and that's what we seek to remedy.
My starting point is trying to get as many people together to come together to actually talk about the actual issues that affect us, and this starts from different places, so grassroots is very important. One thing I'm noticing at the moment is there's a place called Speaker's Corner where a lot of our brothers and sisters are going down to actually express their issues and talk about the shortcomings and progression of things, ideas they have. And there's a collective now known as the G Circle, which is basically known as G.A.N.G, which is guiding a new generation. So a lot of our young who are caught up in street culture, they have an avenue to go and talk, express, and try to actually find tangible solutions to issues they're going through. Now, one of the actual solutions is actually education, and actually being dedicated to education and try to find industries and work with other like-minded people to find finance, commerce, training, and so forth. So this is one of the many things that's going on, and hopefully the more we reach out, the more we're going to find. So that's one of the keys, that there's so many what I'm describing as black betterment collectives, but the challenge that we set ourselves is for us to unite. And even today where I'm at, there's some wonderful brothers and sisters who I'm going to have network with, because this is the key. So the more you speak, the more you're going to reach out and find very constructive black people.
Are you talking about the same people that are the founders of humanity itself, that actually built the pyramids, that actually done all of these things, and yet they still can't work out how those things were done? Yeah, that question is mute, because we have so many talented, skillful, educated, and I don't mean by British standards, educated black people within our communities, whether they be 5 or 50. We have so many skills, but what we need to do is pool everybody. People need to tap into what's already out there. Instead of recreating the wheel every week, everyone's starting a new organisation, jump on board with what's already out there and reinforce it. You can break a stick when it's by itself, but when you've got 100 sticks at once, it can never be broken. And we need to get our mindset around having to be in the forefront of everything and learn to actually follow rather than always lead. Learn to actually build, and then we can move off and do different things, because there'll be a fraction of something that we're part of that's being missed. That's great. Reinforce it with something else. Keep developing, keep growing, because our children are watching. And if they're watching us fighting, if they're watching us not working as a community, why would we then expect them to do work as a community if we're not teaching them that within our actions?
If you're really asking me if black people can do this by ourselves, do we have the expertise? You go and stand in any bank on a Monday morning, our people are behind the counter. You go on London Transport on your way to that bank, our people are fused all the way through that system. If you look at teachers, solicitors, accountants, we run through every single profession. We're infused through every single business. We are perfectly able to do this by ourselves and on our own behalf. The only thing that has stopped us is the fear, because of the indoctrination we received as children. We have a Pinocchio syndrome. Am I a real boy? Well, now we know the answer because we're coming together. We are not unorganized, we're organizing.
The answer is definitely yes. And the challenge is to locate these people and our people and get them together. Hence why I'm pushing technology, community centers. So everyone with a particular skill can come together and each one teach one and so forth. So this is very key, very key. And the answer is yes, we have the expertise in our communities. We most certainly do.
Community centers for us mean cohesion. It means all of us being able to share a space that's nurturing, educational and familiar. All of us are obligated to uphold, promote and preserve our culture. It's natural because without our culture we're nothing and nowhere, and that's exactly where we find ourselves in London right now and all the cities going across the world. We are nothing and nowhere because we don't observe, uphold and promote our own culture. We're drawing a line in the sand and that's the end of that. Now we're setting institutions in place that teach us that that is all we are supposed to do. It's self-preservation.
Solutions for our people, I would say, is ideas and institutions over individuals. Trying to come up with ideas and institutions that last long. So if anything was to go wrong, there is positions where people can change and come in. So it's much more longer lasting, actually charismatic people and ideas, short-term ideas. Forming tangible ways for people to come together is very important. Utilizing technology, that's something that I'm very big on. So as a local group, we might have like local communities that maybe we could connect with other communities in other areas, and we utilize technology to do this. But really, getting together is key, and these are one strategy that I'm seeing that we can probably push forward to try to get that tangible solutions to everyday issues and long-lasting issues, is ways to find ourselves, ways to make ourselves find each other. And I'm pushing technology as one of those reasons.
Institutions will always outlive leaders. One thing I've learned from the European is that they build for 3 generations as a minimum. They're not building widescreen TVs, they're not building the latest car or the latest brand, they're building institutions because they know that in 150, 250 years those institutions will still be there and their children will always have somewhere to work and something to own. So unless we are building institutions for our children, not for us, for our children, and leaving legacies that will last 300, 400, 500 years, just like when we look back in Africa, just like when we look at the Egyptian pyramids, again I draw back to them, because that's what, nearly 10,000 years old. Those are institutions in themselves. They have a lot on their walls. We learn a lot from them. So why can't we do it now? I believe that a lot of the time we've forgotten who we are and we've forgotten how powerful and how great we are. But we have no more time for the lay because we see the effects of us not working together on our streets every day.
Although when I was 18, some of my brothers nicknamed me Malcolm X, I have no desire to be Malcolm X. I would rather be a member of an institution that I knew had a 300-year plan for our people so that we could experience the kind of continuity that you see in Stamford Hill, that we can have the kind of autonomy and safety that you see in Stamford Hill. You see, when we become organized, everybody else will fit within the needs and demands of our community. We just need to know what it is. We're a people that don't particularly have any criteria for what we do. We turn up and we accept. But in us organizing now, we're doing something different. We're establishing a set of criteria, which is here, and we have a set of demands, and they will be met.
I would say it could be, there's many issues, but we can try picking through. Education. When we don't have a focused education group, then we become very integrated in other ideas. And historically, from what I've seen, when we become integrated in other ideas and other challenges, we don't necessarily focus on ours, and we're distinct people with distinct needs. So by us coming together, this will be the solution. So I would say one of the issues is it's very good to reach out to other communities, but I think that has been a kind of shortcoming that we've gone through. So that is why I'm saying we haven't necessarily found tangible solutions from what I've seen.
That's a fantastic question. We always reach a precipice in terms of our development, and then somebody comes with a bag of money and says, we'll make you an employee, or we'll give you a position within inside our organization. And where we've got that Pinocchio syndrome, am I a real boy, we take it. And then after 5 years of being in that office, the rent goes up and we don't have anything else, and we start again. There is no legacy. There's a point where you draw a line in the sand and you stop and you do something different. As a businessman, I make different mistakes. Wisdom is born from making mistakes. It's not made, you don't gain wisdom from doing the right thing. Company policies and procedures come via mistakes. They're the lessons. So we've made enough mistakes. So when we keep asking, why hasn't this been done before? Let's not speak to lay people. Let's not have naysayers in the room. Purely, keenly, proficient professionals who are going to execute exactly what we need as a community and establish these institutions that last. We've heard from a chartered accountant as to how easy it is for businesses to donate to a charity and then receive that as a tax write-off. Why aren't we? You see, you could receive an Investors in Community kite mark and actually build a community that you can't escape. You see, because of your levels of economy, you believe that you can escape being black. Well, you can't, because your children are still in schools with people who have no empathy for them. This is why the black child agenda get as much work as they do. So now we've been forced to see the brightest and best who separate from the rest of us become crucified. Bill Cosby was a great example. You could name many of them. There is no escaping.
As a limited company, there are several ways you can donate to a charity. You can give money, you can give equipment, and what we call trading stock. You can give property, land and shares, employees, secondment of employees to charities, and sponsorship programs. And by giving to charities in this way, what you are capable of doing is reducing your taxable profits, as such reducing your corporation tax liability. If you were to treat it as an expense, that wouldn't be the effect. If you were to give equipment, you can claim full capital allowances on the equipment that you give, which is obviously a very good for you as a business. And so yes, this is I think is a very good area if you're a business and you want to have impact within your community to strongly consider, because not only do you save tax at one end, but you're also having an impact within your community. So it's a good area to speak to your professional advisor also too about.